All right, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're connected from. This is Flix, and we want to look at the markets for this week and for this month. It's very crucial. It's a crucial analysis and review tonight. Guys, just give me a moment. All right, so you're welcome tonight. So, very quick one. And tonight, we're looking at the market in general, the Forex, the crypto market. And of course, you know that these are most areas we deal in our business. Okay. If you're joining us for the first time tonight, you're welcome. And I want you to be attentive and let us take it together and look at what we can actually maximize in the market. All right. So there is no doubt that the market um, is what it is. Quite a number of persons will always look at the market to do what they want it to do. Now, market will do what they want to do, and so it's your own choice to follow and understand what the market want to do. Okay, so now we have entered into a new month. This is the month of March. Today, the 1st of March, all right, 2026. And let's look at some fundamentals. Now, before I go on to more fundamental, there are fundamental I will not be able to talk about on air, but you know some of those fundamentals that are happening right now. Now, without much ado, look at this week. What do we have this week? Today is first, tomorrow is second. Do we have any high impact news this week? All right, so you have that on Tuesday. All right, is it Monday? Tomorrow. So that's to be a few things on this manufacturing PMI, and then yeah, okay. Now, not too much, but of course, just need to have attention on what's going to happen. And so it's also are trading maybe USD JPY. So you need to have an attention. Maybe you're trading Euro USD or Euro stuff like that. You want to look at what's happening to around it. And so JPY, so we want to look at the behavior of JPY, and then if it's going to get trending, and if the US dollar is not going to be flat, or if it's going to be flat and it's not going to make more move. Then you have GBP, of course, you have some of those things. That's why I will tell people not to trade too many instruments at a time. Okay. Now, so for this week, we've seen from Monday. So okay, non-farm payroll is a very terrible, wicked kind of news that affect market so much on Wednesday. So you have to understand that. Then we have on Thursday unemployment claims. Okay, so these are very, very important news. Then Friday, my goodness. So these are very, very important activities you have to take note of. So that makes sometimes the first week of the month look very, so the best time of the month is always the middle of the month. So the second week, the third week. The last week, the first week usually impacted with some heavy high impact news and all of that. So that means you have that one to your mind to understand the fundamental that will be happening this week. And so that will guide you through to know what to do per time, as it were. Okay. Now, quickly, if you take off from that point, we want to look at other aspects of the market. Now, without even checking any forest factory right now, one thing you should know, the current situation and tension happening, across the board in different countries like, America, Iranian, and all of those things. I might not talk so much about that, but the geopolitical issues, right? So, you can envisage to, all right, you can envisage to say, okay, this week, we can envisage to say this week or this market opening, you expect what? All right? You expect a high jump in the price of gold. Okay. You expect a jump in the price of gold. All right? You expect a jump in the price of gold. It's very, very important. you will expect a jump in the price of gold. Normally, that's one of the things you need to understand. You expect a jump in the price of gold as we open tonight. That's the opening of the week. Now, so there are a few other things that probably you want to look at, and so, but I wouldn't have so much time, to discuss about that, in this meeting. But I just want to let you know that the fundamental is the major factors around the movement of gold. So let's quickly look at a few indicators or indices now of the market. Now, you can see Bitcoin, we have been navigating Bitcoin activities for since last week now. So now so I tell people, no matter what you trade, if you don't understand some level of macro informations that relates to what you trade, there's going to be a problem. Now, so the crypto market has been struggling. And so let's quickly look at the crypto market without our instrument. Okay, so let's quickly hide and let's look at the crypto market without instrument. So I'm going to go to weekly time frame. Okay, let's quickly look at the crypto market. And of course, we know it's bearish. Why? I've told you guys, this is the indices for the crypto market. So if we look at this guy, now, are we going to continue moving up, rallying up? As long as we continue rallying up on this guy, right? As far as we continue rallying up on this guy, quickly, let's just change this one. I'm sorry about your pardon. And then I'm going to take it to 4 width. Now, as long, so if we can get reject here, so that means Bitcoin movement can be more fantastic, right? Up. If not, we'll continue to rally down. So, and then all the crypto too will keep falling, as it were. Okay. Then for currencies, Euro USD, GBP USD. All right. Now you see that Euro USD index rallied out at a point and then struggled back down. Now, so I want to go back to Bitcoin quickly to show you what are we looking at. We have a sell in Bitcoin today. All right, the sell still continue already. So if you look at it, you can see Bitcoin is still poised of hitting downward because we have scanner that giving you some of that kind of detailed stuff around it. So on the weekly overlook of, okay, so gold is what I want to pick first. Quickly, I'm sorry. Now, so we are still crazily, we're bullish all through the last week, but not many persons saw that. So that means our highly most target up to create a new time high. So that means we need to cross about 5,600 and let's say $5,600. All right. So what does it take us? We're in $5,207 something right now. So you expect more continued movement on gold this week. Yeah, normally. So you expect that to happen this week, all right? Because and then some of those sentiment around the news coming, if you push down US dollar, that's dollar index, right? Then we should have more continuity of up move. Though sometimes gold will not even respect anything, but because as long as there are tensions across the globe or different countries, then you should have the movement of gold continue to move up. Okay. Now, this is a lovely thing about the market. Now, I want to tell people if you want to enjoy your market and enjoy your journey, you want to start the market overview for weekly. Okay. So because of, when the week ramp up, like now, Sunday, all right, Sunday evening is the best time to look at, okay, where am I starting? Are we going to have continuation of that market or we're going to have a push down and all of that? So looking at Bitcoin, don't mind, we have some entry in Bitcoin. That's where you see all these lines, all right? So today, Bitcoin was supposed to continue moving up. Now, I'll tell you why. So just today, Bitcoin had, okay, so let me just take off all of this, guys. So market is very fantastic if you can just take patience and then just do the needful and then just leave as it is. So look at the market. I don't want to draw unnecessary kind of a thing, but we're still in a downtrend. This is the last major swing high of Bitcoin, and here we are. So, but we need to stay level-headed for Bitcoin right now to stay above this point. If not, that's going to be very disastrous, right? Now, but can anything happen? Anything can happen that we take out this because we have retested this point over and again, and then we shouldn't break it. If not so, or if we break it, we're going to have what we call rejection block here, and then probably taking back. But I think I still expect some kind of movement for Bitcoin, but this is quite unfortunate. We have a very bullish movement here. and then the market could not sustain the movement because we're the bear market, however. Then we have this again, and then returning back. So this happened, and then this market, but this is very simple. I knew that we're going to be selling even after we found a buy today. I knew that we're going to be selling because afterward, then we'll have a sweep of liquidity over here. And daily liquidity swept are very fantastic external liquidity that the market actually respect. And that's what's happening. I'm going to take out this low, perhaps, maybe no. And then, so probably if we look at it on Bitcoin, now, remember we have a tool that's going to do all of this dirty job. I just want to look at the market as it were, the way it is, and all of that. So if you look at the Bitcoin, yep. So let's say if we're going to come back to this point, and then what's the alignment? The alignment of Bitcoin, if you watch, many of you, if you watch not long the video I did about the Bitcoin kind of a movement and all of that. So that means you're going to have something like this for Bitcoin for us to have a bounce back. But those of you who are following and you have Scanner, I'm sure you're already making money, right? So that means I'm looking at these, all right, for the market probably to retest to or at this 75 dealing range level. And so that's going to make a lot of sense. So just expect some kind of more movement for you to buy, but this is a point. Now, what I'm trying to do all of this is simple, that this market, when the market continue to have a bull run, people are always jubilating. But I tell friends, I said, hey, listen, the bull market is never your friend. Understand that. The bull market is never your friend, neither is the bear market your enemy. So the best thing you should expect is that when the market is bear, then you should be finding of buying. That's the truth. But not everybody want to have that patience of remembering that the market actually have a cycle. Every market instrument have a cycle. And then if you fail not to understand the cycle time, then you are likely going to jump into the market at the wrong time. And that's one of the things we try as much as possible to avoid. And so if you're going to get here and then I'm going to show you our instrument, like our scanners, that give you a very simple job. Now, if you have been using this scanner and you are not effective, go back and study the conditions again. Not too much, okay? Go back, study those conditions. They are very important, for you to override the whole thing. So take note, I've told you that gold, we're going to continue our movement now to hit up. So perhaps what I'm going to look at, so when the market open, so let's look at this something. Let me just do something. Now, this is extremely bullish, right? So let me do something. Now, listen, there is difference between, all right? There is difference between, what do we call it? There is difference between a trend and daily sentiment, or what they could be bias. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, let's go there, here. Okay, so let's say we're looking at for gold, because it has been bullish, it struggle. After more struggle, it get bullish back and all of that. So that means we're looking at here. Okay. Let's go this way. Okay, let's look at this way. Okay, so looking at gold to actually for coming to go, this is very bullish. So coming back to 5249 or 520, 5250, something like that. Then for us to continue buying or come back to 522 or worst case scenario 5196, you to get a buy. So we want a continuation in the up move to go and take out this high and probably create a new all-time high. Okay, but of course, if you're following us, there are a few things you will now need to meet up with when the market actually come back to this point, for you to have a continuation in buying, right? But the sentiment is that we're still bullish and the market is going to continue moving up. And so Probably, if it didn't come here, we may have a jump. Boom. And then when you wake up, when you have a jump, you want to just wait for a little pullback or retracement and to buy gold up to this level and breaking above to create a new time or all-time high, as it were. Now, so that's one of the things about gold and what we must understand. So now if we go to 4 hours, you look at gold, that was a very massive breakout at a point, and then before that. And so if you look at how we actually trade, okay, I'm going to take off this. Okay, you see that it has actually taken out this high, and then you expect some pullback, maybe landing on this point, and then we'll continue moving up for gold. All right, so Euro USD, GBP USD, and all of that. I wouldn't have more time to explain them, but whatever thing you have is that this is the opposite. Okay, so this is the opposite. Okay, so Euro USD, we had a very nice choppy last week. Up, down, move up, move down within the range, and that's one of the things. So you want to look at Euro USD, probably move up again, get rejected, or except we break out of this limitation, then we continue moving up for Euro USD. Now, like I said, you have to be very careful about GBP USD or USD JPY. I'm sorry, beg your pardon. You see that the market has been struggling, though it was on its sell. I took profit here, and you're going to see what our tool did. So, but if we're able to have this consolidation over time, and then it just little pull back, then we should continue moving up on USD JPY. Okay, but except otherwise, and then accounts that both have news this week, and then we'll get JPY trending, and then have USD weaken, and that means we're going to float down into the ideal point of where we're supposed to come down to. Now, the same thing on crypto. I told a lot of friends to say everybody is an expert during bull market. When the bear market comes, everyone remains silent and all of that. But the good thing is that we're still making a lot of money even when these sessions or these bear markets actually come in. Many do not understand that when it comes to this bear market, it's about strategy. Now, quite a number of persons I was sharing with somebody in the evening, and I said, I remember when we entered the bull market in 2023, January precisely, and I made an announcement that we're just officially on a bull market, but a lot of us would not, pay much attention because we got carried away with other things and all of that. So, but again, what was my target on Bitcoin was like 90,000, and then as any other thing is just an extra, and it did extra to 126,000. That's making a lot of sense. But a lot of people still look at it that, okay, has actually gotten off the movement and all of that. So right now, be careful. Another thing I have to tell you guys that be careful with some of those meme coins. So most meme coin may not survive, the trend of the bear market. Okay, because when Bitcoin starts selling like a rock, and then not many bear markets will be able to withstand. Okay, so so all of those coin, there's some coin that will never return back. So just take note of that. There's some cryptos that they will never return back, after this bear season we are. Because if you don't agree that we're in a bear season, but maybe I just need to let you realize that we're in a bear season. Okay. So for Bitcoin, for gold, and some of us who are trading stock, let me quickly just go because I just want to wrap up. I told us tonight it's not going to be too long. And then some of us who buy and trade stock, I remember when I was telling us about the stock last week, and I said some markets, why you need to take from profit and all of that. So we saw Fritzing, there's a local stock. We saw Fritzing at about 90, 95 Naira. And I said, taking profit is never a bad idea. Whoever, the trader that take a profit from the table never go broke. And so you have this as a major point of support, which is about $73, 73 Naira. So if it's going to crash, you expect, to 79 and 73 Naira before you actually buy. Now, there is Stanbic IBTC that I told people to buy the other time. And then if you're not following my instruction, I'm sorry, I'm not, okay, sorry, not your stock, Stanbic IBTC 30. Wow. So it has not even stopped. And remember, I was telling some of us, I say, the crash, that somebody was asking me last week, they say, can I buy now? I say, no, wait, because I told us that it's not yet over. And now look at the total crash from 7,000 Naira or 7,000 Naira. Yes, now back to 1,900 or something. Now, if you never take profit, then that's a waste, because I always said when the market do like, I think there was a particular one I was telling them, now that you have done like more than 200%, I think PZ, and I say, what is expected of you is to take some profit. Yeah, I think it's not the PZ or something. I can't really remember. There's a particular stock, either PZ or Lafarge. I can't remember which instrument was that, but I just thought, okay, that should be Jay's Bank. Okay, that should be Jay's Bank. That should be Jay's Bank. So yeah, that should be Jay's Bank. Okay, yeah, 200%. And I say, okay, what is expected of me when my stock have done 100, 200%? If you have done 200%, I just slice the money into two, right? Take half and leave half to be in the stock. Then if it's 100% sometime, then I can take, how do I do that? I think I've forgotten. I just take the profit. Okay, yeah, I think I just take the profit and allow the market to be there as it were. So now looking at the market generally on Bitcoin, for instance, I said, if we're going to crash down, we should have a bounce here. But for me, I'm envisaging that we're supposed to be navigating up, eventually and all of that. Now, above all this, I'm not doing a technical analysis training and all that. So I always tell friends, I say, when you're looking at the market, now market and price is fractals. It moves from one region to another. Why? Because of negotiation. Now you get to negotiate with the market or bid at this price, and all of that. And that's one of the things many of us actually miss when it comes to trading, buying and selling. All right. Now, when it comes to trading, a lot do not pay attention to what really matters. So cycle is the biggest thing in the market. All right. Cycle is the biggest thing in the market. If you don't understand the cycle movement in crypto, in stock, in Forex, and all of that, you're going to be dashing the markets a lot of money. Okay. Now, quite unfortunately, this is not the time for me to recommend any coin for us to buy because the market is bleeding, right? But in the bleed, you are going to make a lot of money because you know exactly what you were doing. Okay. Now, so one of the lovely things is that in the market, everything is still the same kind of strategy. Either you are trading Forex or you are trading crypto or you are trading stock. It's still the same thing they're going to have. So that means we have this range of $84,000 for Bitcoin. Okay. So, but we need to actually consolidate over here and break out of the neck. But a lot are waiting. When will Bitcoin get out of this point? Now, where it is here, it will shock you that we were making a lot of money last week. I've cleared off those entry and exit and all of that. Why? Because one of the first things is that if this candle closes bearish today, then tomorrow will not be too nice. Right? So, but we have to just watch what happened. But we have a sell position on this trade exactly, and it's still running. Right. Now, so why? Because of the condition we met and the expected length of activities we actually wanted, and to see that Bitcoin actually reject a particular level here, which I'm going to expand, and then you can see more detail. Now, the advice I give to people is that when you come into the market, irrespective of what to trade, always look at what the daily is ready to perform or it has performed, and then you can go ahead to create, means and other things about, the market. So daily must be viewed before you jump into any other, time difference, and that is sequential, because you can miss out of important trade because you just get into the market, look at the daily 1 hour time frame. It's okay, the market is bearish, it's bullish. The narrative of daily time frame is quite important for you. Now, quickly, let me look at. I know a lot of people will look at the market. How do I analyze market by myself? It's very tough. Market, yeah, and all of that. It's not true. Market analysis is the simplest thing. The worst thing is decision, which has to roll around your psychology. Anybody can see a market reversal and take the trade, but what's your level of psychology? If you don't build your psychology, trust me, you're going to be wasting a lot, so much money in the market. Okay? Because opportunity will have been open for you, but you do nothing, and then the opportunity is taken away. So now let's quickly go. So looking at the market, and then so I was talking about Bitcoin, and I say it will still crash more, and then we sold this in the afternoon. Okay. So now I'm going to now show to you. Most time when I come into the market, the first thing I want to look at, what is the daily say? Where did it close and when did it open? And then looking at what time do I come to the market, I think it matters too. Timing and time frame are very important. So sometimes the good setup you could have at a wrong session when there are no volumes and all of that, can result to a losing trade. But so on a daily, you're checking and to able to see the daily bias or sentiment. Now, a lot of people will ask me, how do I know the daily bias and all of that? That you are in a downtrend does not mean a day cannot be bullish, just like you have this. All right? Just like you have this. So how? The market, okay? So like this market now, here, this candle is daily candle. You can't really ever say, okay, this is where the market is going to go to, right? But you just, your sentiment is, the market is bearish. Yeah, the trend is bearish, but anything can happen. This candle will close bullish, and in that order. How? Especially when the previous candle closes below the previous, the recent candle closes below the previous on a downtrend, then you can take a market as it were. Now, let me now inject back, going to 4 hours to see the structure. Now, it is 4 hours you actually look at the structure properly and all of that. So this is Bitcoin. You can see what Bitcoin have been rigmaroling around this point all this while, right? So quickly, let me return back tools that can help you. Now, this is our tool, very powerful tool that we use in trading any instrument at all, Bitcoin, currencies, precious metals and all of that. It's powerful and it just helps you to classify the market from a range to range. You can see now, I remember I was telling people last week, we're scalping and we're making a lot of money, but I told a lot of them, look at it. How do you feel when the market moved massively on 4-hour time frame and break this now, retested it back, and of course, you were looking for a buying opportunity. Now, so I just have to show us this that because a good number of people, one of the biggest problem we have in the market is ability to identify where to enter from and where to exit from. So we traded this thing last week down and then up. Yes, we traded it down and traded up again. And then after up, yes. So we traded this one up. Let me go to 1 hour because that will give us. So sometime when the market became more choppy or not giving you an interesting movement, then you want to actually enlarge into a lower time frame, which is like 1 hour time frame. And so you could see this for many of you on an ecosystem and following instruction. We took this trade up and then look at another sell. It was this morning that we took this. Was it this morning? Yesterday. Okay, yesterday. And then continue to run. I think it was this morning we find a sell, and then the sell is still struggling. You'll discover once it's able to break this zone, then we're going to travel down. But remember, this is the liner drill. Now, we don't want it to cross below here. A worst case scenario should be here. Outside that, the market is gone. Okay, that's for Bitcoin. But I doubt if it's going to come down. But if it does, then you can take out this low, this line, and then pump back. Somebody will ask, can I buy now? Can I enter the sell now? That's actually wrong because that means you are jumping to the market at the middle of nowhere. Okay, so if you look at gold, the same thing. Now the gold is still going to continue, right? Like I've said, after even breaking on the 1 hour time frame, we have a retestment, and then the market continue and all of that. So the same thing we found on Euro USD. So they can look at Euro USD now. So say, oh, if the market actually trend back up or down, then we want to have a pullback into the zone and then buying up. But this resistance is very strong. And equally, these resistance are very, very strong. You may want to ask me, Feli, how do you know? Okay, there are factors we use in checking if the resistance is strong or support is strong or whatever. Now, the same thing, we traded this one back last week. Yes, oh yes, traded it back last week just using this tool that's going to give you a buying entry and a sell entry. Any good buy or sell entry, any entry on 4-hour time frame does actually make a lot of sense, because it's more strengthening and stronger, all right? But do I actually wait for 4 hours all the time? Then that's why I could navigate back to 1 hour. I'm just trying to tell us that the market, but take note, if you're just joining us, we say we have said that they pull back this week on gold and then a buy continuation. Okay, so should pay attention to understand all of those terms and concepts I've just mentioned. So you can see that. Now, for people who actually scalp Bitcoin, this is how we do. Okay, thank God. This one was still there. I think if you go to a particular group, or me and somebody was chatting, and I told him, I think that market was somewhere around here that time. If you're on the cash flow solution, okay, the cash flow system, you see, I think something of this chart there, where the market, I say, look at it now, is going, and then finally it delivers. This was massive. That's about 5,400 points, depending on the lot size you actually use. So you can see this sell now, and they continue. Now, this was not validated. All right. So this sell is going to continue. It pushes it out, telling you, oh, a liquidity have been swept. Then we should be finding up back. Do I take in this market now? No, I have to wait for the confirmation, because as long as it took out this and want a kind of a push up to create a power of three, now was not forthcoming, and that means the person will be subjected continually to the downtrend and all of that. So this is for Bitcoin and scalping it with a psychological level, and the same thing happened to gold, that we do the same kind of campaign. Okay. Now, so if you look at it, okay, so let's go. So for Bitcoin, like I said, for Bitcoin, we still be selling more, right? Okay. Now we get to this major support right now, and then it's gradually going to break it. So remember, my target is here. And then when it gets there and give me some sign of weaknesses, I can take off this one. We get to this point showing some level of weaknesses, then I can begin to look and narrow down to an opportunity of sniper entry, as it were. So all of these, okay, this is 4 hours. So all of these were given, and then we're able to take trade and then ride up as much as possible before the market now get to the destination and give us a buy or a sell opportunity. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, so what of Bitcoin? I've just told you Bitcoin needs to cross that above. If not, we'll still continue to go down. Okay. And once we go down, then some markets will be able to actually hold on to because of the market. I know a lot of us, when we enter the market, just want to hold on to it. To 1:5 risk reward, 1:10 risk reward. It doesn't happen just at the goal. Okay. It happens in sequential order. You're already following, and then you ask the person how you doing and all of that. And those are the things around some of those markets. So you can see now this market had nowhere to go. And now sometime when there are no clarity in the market, you just avoid taking an entry and then be struggling to mitigate, such markets. Okay. So I told you we're buying gold as the market open. And then of course the forex market none is open right now. Quite unfortunate. I ought to have, let me just check here. Okay. Okay, you can see the sell now. The sell pressure is very, very high. So get the market down here or break and retest it back, and then we look for a buy. So right now, can I see sell? Okay, why not? But I don't know. Because I always have issues when you take your entry, where your stop loss. So your stop loss should be considerate. And then if your stop loss is not too friendly, you now have to take it off, right? Because I always say stop loss is a kind of tool you pay to do your work. And then if your stop loss is not friendly, what do I mean by friendly? It should be within confine of where, number one, your amount to be spent should go along with what you have per gain. And if it's beyond that, that should be your trade. All right, that shouldn't be your trade. So this Bitcoin will sell, and then you can see when this was ask it to sell, and then we're still going to sell until we go up to the end of the bounce. And that's the same thing. Now, other instrument like Solana, you can see the sell massive today. It was today. Remember I was sharing with somebody, it was today. Then BNB, I think BNB always go against, but it's still selling. And then we have Ethereum. So all of them. So that means you're looking at down to this point or just here. Look at it here. Let's go here. Okay. So that means what we're saying is that let there be a touch and a wick down to this point and bounce. That means forming another buy. But imagine from what price here down to this point was enough money that have been made if you understand what to do per time. Okay. Okay, I've mentioned the stock market, the crypto, and then which coin can we buy down today? I can't really give you any coin right now. All right. So we have to be patient and then let the market come to us instead of jumping into the markets. Remember, what we do, like I've told you, I've discovered if you're personally involved by yourself, you discover you make more money than even giving money for copy trading and all of that. Does that mean copy trading is bad? No. We run copy trading, but this just tell you that you pay attention, and then you don't need to wait for anybody, any expert signal. The scanner will give you your signal. If you want to set up signal on it, The only thing is that if you want to set up a signal on your, trading view, probably you have to be on a subscribed membership before you can do that. But nevertheless, look at as clean as this chart is, it will give you a clear direction of where the market is going to, and you take your profit. Okay. There were so many stock I mentioned last week, but I can't recall. I think it's on the group. So if you're on our group, pay attention to informations and understanding so that you can make more money. Okay, let me look at, there was a PS I was looking at last week on those of you who trade Forex. Let's look at this one. Okay, I think it was GBP. Okay, yes. So I was the one that printed this one. Okay, so if you look at this market has been bearish crazily for a very, very, very long time. So that means you need to balance the equation above this point for us to find an entry. So I'll keep it inside, right, to monitor and see when it go ballistic, and then we can take advantage of it, right, for this particular instrument, GBP AUD. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now, if you have been our ecosystem too, you know that it's a three-in-one kind of system. Number one, passive income. So our passive income is predominantly copy trading system and automation, right? So with that, we can make passive income. And then, but doing that, you have to synchronize to see people who wouldn't blow your account and all the like. So, but you make a lot of money, having some of those solutions on passive. So this market that was crashing and crashing. In fact, let me look at it. Let's go to one day. You're going to see, can you see that? Continuously crashing. Okay, yeah, look at it from here. That should be since last year, October. Then it got here consolidated. You can see for a very long time, and it lost it anyway. As at January, and then that was when you have this massive move on this same instrument. Okay, so it is very important, and that you pay attention to all of those scanners, how they work, and then so if you're now in time, a trader, not necessarily full time, so you're part time. Or whatever. So you can always find a way around. There's something I wanted to check. You can always find your way around the market move. So ordinarily, now that this has been traveling down so much, we have this one closer. This one had already, now this is a close below this one. Then look at what the next market gonna do. And that's the market open. So if it does, then you can only look at the market coming back to this point, all right, except and otherwise. Okay, so that is that for which other one I want to pick? Okay. GBP JPY. So you can see the last point here, perfect, massive entry for this market before the amazing ride came into space. Okay, so let's go. Oh, I think we had a trade last week on this. So anywhere you see I mark like this with this, this is USD card. Okay, this is USD card. We have a pushback at the market open today. And that means it's still a continuation sell till we get down to this point. Look at it. So if I look at how many pips from there, okay, just 1 or 2 pips. That's not a bad one. Then when it does that, then it can now bounce, okay, for the market. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's so far tonight. Yeah, so we have our operations activities. The scanner is doing massive things. So you come into the scanner, you use the scanner, you trade, and you are actually doing your proper trade and risk management. I don't think you have a case of losing a trade. Somebody told me in the afternoon, said, if you are the type that don't even wait for maybe readjustment of other sub confirmation, then you just wait for the candle. He said, you have seen back tested that I could do 80% win rate. I say he's not lying because it just requires your attention and then you're able to do what is necessary. Okay. So the scanners are crazy. And then you can see some that are on smart money concept. Okay. So if you look at, let's go to 1 hour. Okay. You can see what I was saying for this market movement and all of that. Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin. No, was it Bitcoin? Gold. So I'm actually ready to target that, gold. So this is like a trend market combined with smart money concept. Then how the breakout structure here. So, and then the market continue and stuff like that. Okay. So, here are more like of scalping the gold, and then here I'm more or less scalping the Bitcoin and all this. Yes, there's a coin. Quickly, let me check a coin if it has not gone banana. So let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Um, Let me check quickly. Let me check. I know many of you do not know that we're doing massive things on these tools. So let's go here. Okay, there's this coin we're trading called River. I think I've given out this. Okay, River. Okay. River. I don't think you're gonna give us anything right now. Oh my word. Which coin did I want to bring out? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, what? But right now, it's a bit difficult and risky to tell people to just buy coin that do not understand some of those uh, games behind it and all of that. Okay, but maybe when I find it, can just drop it for if it's for futures, can see for futures, and if it's for sport, can see as sport, so that you will not misfire in your trade entry for all of those instruments we'll be sending. But definitely Bitcoin is still crashing. Remember what I told us? And then until Bitcoin let's see, Bitcoin here. Where is that? Okay, no, this one. Okay, so this point here. That is 63981, or let's just call it 63900 or something for a new buy of Bitcoin. Okay. Okay, so we have started. So this journey so far, so building a lot of strategic movement. And why I love all of these scanners, I'll tell you the reason is that it's just you are generating signal for yourself and by yourself. Okay? For yourself and by yourself. So no stress. It's just okay. Let me look at this coin. It's called Space. Okay. Not sure it's a powerful token. So perpetually down. And so there is nothing one can do unless and otherwise the market take a new dimension. Okay, so we cannot get any coin to buy right now. I'm sorry, guys. Pay more attention when the market open and see a jump in gold before you find an entry, as it were. Quite fortunately, let's go here. Okay, let's look at this. So it's the same template, all of them play. Yes. So that all of this we're able to have a good brief when the Bitcoin actually get another clearer direction. So, but for now, Bitcoin is still selling, like I've said, and so you don't need to entertain fear. Okay, you don't need to entertain fear. We move the market as we like an institution, but because of a secret that we pay attention to. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. Tonight we've done the Noble, and then those on the group, we definitely will still send some charts when we wake up to look at the market practically. All right. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any question, you can post, please. Anyone with any questions, so can you kindly make use of the chat and comments chat? So quickly type you have any questions and all of that. Now, many want to ask, okay, how do I get access to the scanner and all of that? Of course, if you're in our community, now you have access to information, okay? And you have access to how the information that will direct you to get started or using the scanner, right? There's not only one scanner, there's about 5 different scanners, and then each working differently of almost the same purpose. Okay. Okay, so that's very, very important. Then for other platform we actually link up with and all of that. So go to the group. There are fantastic information there where to register and of course build up. Okay, so that you can I wanted to build up something here in case. So guys, I'm sure you are seeing the market is rocking down. Shit. Okay. Okay, so please, if you have any question, you can ask or you can just send me a WhatsApp. I'll give you a number, you can send a WhatsApp, you can write it down. Take your pen and your paper right now. Okay, let me just write it here so that you can ask questions or so you can chat this number +23490 470, all right, 44998. Okay, so you can chat with this number on how to maximize some of those things. A lot of people are in our ecosystem. There are things we mention, you get confused, right? Yes, you get confused because you've never had any of those concepts, but they exist anyway. But the challenge is that to what extent are we ready to pay attention to simple instructions? Very, very important. So let me take it to this point. So here's the phone number. You can WhatsApp this number. I'm interested in the scanner. I want to maximize things on the ecosystem. Then you'll be attended to. Okay. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And do have a pleasant day and a week. Happy new month. Happy new week. And then the market is going to favor us this week. And then we'll maximize everything. Do have a nice time, everybody. And bye for now.